So today we are talking about favicons. Now, you'd be forgiven if you haven't heard the term favicon before. It's also sometimes known as a site icon, and basically it's that little image that you'll see at the top of a browser tab. So next to the name of the website, if you've got multiple tabs open, you might see different icons, and they each represent the different websites that are open on those tabs. So you might have Google with the little G, and Twitter with the Twitter bird, and Facebook with the F, it's so on and so forth. And basically the main purpose is to help users quickly identify which website is which. So they're very handy. They're also used in a couple of other contexts, like bookmarks, for example. If you have a look at your bookmarks, most of those will have a favicon as well. If you were to save a website as a quick link, as kind of an app on your phone, the favicon will be used there. Yeah, there are a few other uses, but the most common one is the icon on the little tab in your web browser. So what kind of image should you use for your favicon? Well, you might instinctually want to use your logo, which is sometimes a good way to go, but it really depends on how complex your logo is. Remembering that it's going to be usually appearing very, very small. So a typical favicon on a browser tab is going to be only 16 by 16 pixels, so really, really little. And if you've got a complicated logo, when it's shrunk down to that size, it might not be very clear what people are actually looking at. So if you've got a really simple logo, absolutely, that can work well as your favicon. Otherwise, you might be better off just to take elements of your logo. So maybe one or two key elements, whether that's a letter or two, maybe it's the initials of your business, or maybe it's just the first letter from your business name, or maybe it's an image, maybe it's a little motif. As long as it is something that is immediately recognizable as belonging to your brand, it makes sense for your brand, then that would work as a favicon. Now, depending on what kind of website management system you're using, the type of file, the file format that you're using might vary a little bit, but typically the most widely accepted and easiest to use file format is ICO. This one's the most widely supported because it allows you to store various file sizes within one file size, which is really handy because it's going to be, as I said, sometimes it'll be 16 by 16 pixels, sometimes it'll be a little bit bigger. Yeah, so ICO is definitely the way to go. So to create an ICO image, you need to use a Favicon generator, and there's a really great one called favicon.io where you can upload a PNG image and it will download a few different file formats for you so that you have everything on hand depending on where you need to use it. So to create your favicon, you need to make sure that you have whatever image you've decided to use, whether it's your logo or an element of your logo or a couple of letters, maybe in a brand font. Then you need to have them saved in a PNG format with a transparent background. The reason you want a transparent background is because it's going to be a square, but if you're going to have, say you're going to use your brand initials and it's AB or something, and you've got that white square background, it's not going to look as clean as most of the other icons are. I definitely recommend getting a transparent background. It just makes it look a little bit more polished. So you can either upload your image to Canva and then remove the background, or you can remove it using a tool like Photoshop. Otherwise, if you don't have those tools and you just want something quick and free, you can use a website called remove.bg. There's links to all of these resources in the blog post as well. And if you're going to go down the path of using just an element from your logo, then you might need to employ the help of a graphic designer. So you could use a website like Upwork to reach out to a designer who can help you to separate that one element from your logo and create it as a PNG file so that you can convert that to the ICO file that we were talking about before. Have a look at the blog post for some more resources. We've got some instructions on how to upload them to different websites. So whether you're on WordPress or Shopify, Squarespace, whatever platform you're using, we've put all the most common ones, links to their instructions in the blog post as well. So best of luck. Let us know how you go, and we'll see you next time.